Hey guys, day 3, roots up. Let's do this. Little disclaimer, just a small one. 2 things. My prayer and my intention today is to not drop any unsavory words, particularly the F-bomb, on account of this topic makes me so angry that a lot of words start forming in my mouth, and I'm like, you guys know I did not always know Jesus. I know those words, so sometimes they come out when I get really angry. My other second thing, the intention is, let's try to keep this at 15 minutes. You guys, there's so much information, like you have to know this. So if you're sharing this, just warn people. She's kind of chatty. She might go on and on. Grab your beverage of choice and let's do this. All right, so again, please forgive any words that come out my mouth. Hide your little ones, because you might be saying those same words. So here we go. All right, this topic today, Roots Up, is going to be from the 6-year-olds up to 20. It's a big span, but here's what happens. Think about it. From 6 years old to about 20, the number one thing that we are focused on as far as kids and their health is immune boosting and energy. Energy really comes into play more in the 12 to 18 years old, maybe even a little bit older, which I may go back and talk about energy beverages and all the nonsense that I see people walking around with their kid. I'm like, I can't. Like, if I go to another sporting event with kids and they're drinking Gatorade, I will probably lose my Schmidt, I promise you. But that's probably for tomorrow. So I wanted to focus on immune support. Here's the thing. Anti-vax. We have to stop this nonsense. We just have to. And I know you're like, Jen, I don't use that Purell or anything. I know, you're good. But however, let's just, okay, there's so much here. And I'm like, I'm feeling still a little angry about it. So here's the thing that you probably don't know. Even all you good people who are like reading all your labels, very likely you don't know this. I'm just saying, because maybe you aren't the research queen. There's a little ingredient called triclosan, okay, that is in every antibacterial product ever. If it says anti-bac, it's in that product. However, maybe you're like, yeah, I know, I avoid that like the plague. Good on you, fist bump. But what you may not know is it's in your toothpaste, it's in your deodorant, it's in your lip balm, it's in your lotion, it's in your perfume, and for the love of all things holy, if you are still using perfume and we are friends, we need to have a conversation. It's in cleaners, household cleaners, and in sponges, for the love. It's in shaving cream. Some of you guys have husbands that just won't listen, and here's me. I don't even know, just tell them, stop it. Do you want to leave our kids without a dad? Like, seriously, go there with them. Triclosan, so as I was doing some research and really like, hey, what should I talk to you guys about? This kept coming up. So we're just going to talk, we're not going to necessarily talk about all the anti-bac. We're going to talk about triclosan. So here's the crazy, sinister thing, right? In 2013, the FDA brought it before a court. And they're like, hey, we need to ban this. I'm like, yay, FDA. You actually did something nice. In 2013, it finally got a ruling in 2016. I'm like, meanwhile, there's all these kids using all these things for 3 years. Okay. Meanwhile, so then they give them a year to remove it. Okay, so now we're on year 4. 2017 in September, triclosan was to be banned from 2 products, hand soap and body washes. So maybe you have your soap and you're like, it doesn't say it. Okay, because very likely they did right and they took it out. It is now 2018. They took it out. However, the ban only applied to those 2 things. So like I mentioned, it's still in cosmetics. It's still in your makeup. It's still in shaving cream. It's still in toothpaste. Freaking paste. You know why it's in toothpaste? 2 reasons. Gingivitis and plaque. And here's where I'm going to try not to yell at you guys. I feel like I've been yelling a whole bunch, so I'm going to be really nice. You know how gingivitis and plaque can be completely avoided if you don't eat crap? Now, I realize when I get into your plates and I touch your taste buds and I get all in your food business, you have a come apart and you get angry at me. So I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to tell you is, I'm just going to say this. We use Thieves toothpaste for deodorant and toothpaste. You can talk to me about that later. And our dentist is like, your gums look amazing. Yeah, they do. All of us. Everybody. It's also used for a whitener. I got stuff that can do that, guys. You don't need no triclosan. So I digress. You might be like, okay, fine. What's the bigs with triclosan? Because a lot of times I'll tell people, if your toothpaste says call poison control if swallowed, there's a problem. This is me trying not to yell. There's a problem. Your mouth, is the quickest way into your bloodstream. Quickest. And some of you are like, oh, that's just because of the fluoride. I need fluoride. No, you don't. But anyway, I digress. You need to not eat crap. It's not only because of that, it's because of the triclosan. Now, if you start Googling, because I'm teaching you guys to research, you're going to find Colgate, Crest, all these companies are going to be like, oh, we have less than 1%. Let's talk about a little thing called bioaccumulation, shall we? It's going to get a little sciencey in here. Bioaccumulation is the accumulation of substances that, at a faster rate, I should say, than the organism that is absorbing it can actually get rid of it. So, for example, you now have triclosan in your toothpaste. Maybe it's in your lotion. Maybe your husband has it in a shaving cream. Maybe it's in your mattress. I can't even. Maybe it's in your clothes. There's a lot of products that have triclosan. So you're just constantly inundated. 75% of Americans have pretty significant amounts of triclosan in their bodies. That's nuts. It's nuts. So what happens is, so this has like 0.11%. This one has 0.5%. But in a 24-hour period, that bioaccumulation is ridiculous. Top it off with like all the nasty stuff that you're already, not you, the universal you, is eating and whatever, right? Okay, so what's the big deal about triclosan? Hormone and reproductive systems get totally wiped out by this. And so you have to sit there and think, okay, now why are we such a big antibacterial culture? I get it. Parents trying to prevent sickness. I can promise you that worse than stepping on a Lego in the middle of the night is waking up to your child vomiting everywhere. I get it. I've been there. It's such a beating. It's a total beatdown, right? But worse yet than all of that, than missing work, than having to take a day of sick days, right, is your kid growing boobs at 8, especially if they're a boy. That's a thing. That is straight up a thing because they have too much estrogen in their bodies, which triclosan creates more estrogen. Also, or your little girl starting her period before she actually starts kindergarten. Imagine having that conversation. If you guys don't believe me, you can call up pediatricians' offices and ask. I don't know if they can tell you. I can post a link to a video where a chiropractor talks about that. Jim Bob Hagerton, if you guys don't follow him, you totally should. He's way more well-versed in all of this. So there's that. So think about it. Do I really, and really like in our family, because of how we eat, because of what we use in our home, that middle of the night nonsense happens like so few and far between. Like so few, I can't even remember the last time. So there's that. And our kids aren't, starting their periods before kindergarten, and our boys don't have boobs. So it's a good trade-off, I think. Here's another little fun fact for you about antibiotics. 2 million people contract some sort of infection during their hospital stay. That means 1 in 20 patients get some sort of infectious disease while they're at the hospital. Even though there's so much sanitizing going on, despite all the sanitizing, 1 in 20 patients gets some sort of disease. Our family, when my Zion had one of his surgeries that he, had to remove this lymph node that, for the love, was actually, when they tested it, was like, it had drainage from his last surgery. Quit taking crap out of his body and screwing with his system. I digress. But a couple days later, he got the worst stomach bug I've ever seen. I'm like, oh, well, we were at a hospital 2 days ago. Go figure. Here's my surprise face. So there's that. When did this stuff start? 1984. Actually, the Dial Soap Company started antibacterial. They didn't call it antibacterial. They called it soap where germs and bacteria couldn't survive. That was like in the 1940s. And they coined the term in 1984, and then so since 1984, all of these things have happened. The challenge is our kids are sicker. Our people are sicker than ever. With all this antibacterial nonsense, with all the triclosan going everywhere, people should be healthier than ever, but they're not. I'm not talking about flu and all that kind of stuff. Check it out. We go back to the hormone and reproductive thing. It also increases allergies. I'm doing a whole texting class right now with some of my Young Living people, and we talk about allergies. The number one thing I would tell you is stop getting this in your body. Also, one of the biggest health impacts of triclosan, hear me, thyroid damage. It literally ruins your thyroid. Holler at me, show me a hand here if you have a thyroid issue. Now, side note, I will say many issues, which I can talk about another time, really stem from a lot of emotions. However, your body can create the perfect storm for things to occur. Your thyroid is not an accessory organ. I will probably go to the grave. They'll probably do that on my gravestone. It's not an accessory organ. What was she talking about? It's not an accessory organ. And yet, many people have thyroid issues. And the answer is like, well, I guess we better just take it out. No, stop that. And here, prevent that kind of stuff. Learn what harms it. So triclosan. That's what's up. You guys, better still, because of our lovely, FDA, I can't really tell you all the things that I know that are, como se dice, how do you say this? Like, they're gonna help clean your body and clean your hands without taking away all this stuff, right? But you guys can Google it on your own time and do your own research. That's what I'm all about. I got on here and thinking, okay, I'm gonna start talking about my seedlings. I'm going to start talking to you guys about my thieves because it's crazy awesome. And yet, I'm like, you know what? You just need to do this. You need to learn about this and then come holler at me when you're ready. Because again, how many times I got to say, y'all, I'm not trying to sell you a pair of leggings. I'm not trying to get you to buy a new purse. I'm trying to get you to take charge of your health. Because you have one life and that's it. It's not hard. It's simple. It is so daggum simple. I can't even. I just can't. So here's the thing. My friend Kelly, Kelly Ross, I was texting about this. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just learned this. And she says, here's the deal. The main ingredient in sanitizers is paranoia. That's my friend Kelly, guys. That's not me. I wish I could take credit for that quote. I think I'm going to put it up on a meme. The main ingredient in hand sanitizers and sanitizers of any kind is paranoia. It's a true story. Why don't we look at prevention a different way? Again, the healthiest kids are the gypsies in Spain. Kids who just get dirty and roll in the dirt and come in with dirt under their fingernails and not all the antibac nonsense. Guys, this time for kids, for me, is so close to my heart because my Zion got skin cancer, malignant melanoma to be specific. I don't know any other, that was such a redundant term, right? Malignant melanoma. Sorry. That's how the doctors always coined it, which, that gives me a lot of faith in doctors. Anywho, but from 6 years old to 20. Guys, it says, in the internet sphere, that the formative years are like 1 to 5. Here's me. When you're talking about the health of your child, it's like in utero all the way to 20. I'm going to do a video on another date and time because it would be way longer. But the fact that all these products that we're using can literally change our DNA. I'm going to explain how. It would take way too long right now, but we'll do a whole video on just that. But did you guys realize by using that, we are literally changing the DNA of our children. The DNA, guys. And I think you might go, what? That is a true story. And I will explain it, I promise you. So what? All right. With your kids' immune support, stop using the antibiotics, the antimicrobials, all that nonsense. Just cut it out. Because here's why. Practically speaking, you're just creating superbugs that even antibiotics won't touch. I know there's a place for antibiotics. I know, I get it. My Selah had to have them when she had her first surgery because she's in a hospital and likely going to catch some nonsense, right? And they do serve a purpose because they're quick, but they do more harm than good. And so do the antibacterial and the antimicrobials and the anti, except for anti-inflammation, which is awesome. That's another story for another day. So are you paranoid about your kid getting sick? You know what you should be paranoid about? Your kid growing boobs if they're a boy. Your kid growing boobs before they're, in the time when they're meant to. Your kid having any kind of thyroid issue. It's not hereditary, guys. I see so many people that just chalk their head like, wow, thyroid issues are hereditary. Just stop. You know what? So is melanoma. That's what we found out. That's why Zion got it. We created the perfect storm for his body for it to create melanoma. But you know who's never had it? My husband. It kind of doesn't skip a generation, does it? That's some food for thought. That's all I have for you guys today. So remember, triclosan, all bad. See you later.